Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, training out of Iowa Sports Gym, with a fight record of 21 wins and 1 loss, a 95% win rate, representing Japan, Shimon Yoshinari. And introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, he is a 4-time Muay Thai world champion, training out of Sor Samai, with a fight record of 90 wins and 37 losses, a 71% win rate, representing Thailand, the Destroyer, Yodlekpet.
Okay, guys, come in. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, listen to me at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Have a good, clean fight. Touch gloves, back your corners.
Referee Chris Bachelor, the third man in the ring with the final instructions. Shimon in the white, Yodlekpet in the maroon and black, and we are underway. 3 rounds if we need them in flyweight Muay Thai. Open stance battle here, Rich Franklin. We've got Yodlekpet coming out southpaw as Shimon fighting in orthodox.
Yeah, when you talk about a 6-inch height advantage on paper, it just doesn't translate until you actually see them squaring off in the center of the ring like that. Yodlekpet's doing a good job here of managing the range, given the height differential, land that inside leg kick, but you see he's keeping himself right at the end of Shimon's jabs, not really getting caught with anything at this point. Good coverage on that, not a lot of power behind that kick.
Ladies and gentlemen, you will see that 2 athletes on tonight's card share the same last name of Yoshinari, and that is because Shimon Yoshinari and Naraka Yoshinari are actually cousins, and Naraka is the reason why Shimon actually got started competing in Muay Thai. Shimon saw the success that Naraka was having, and he wanted some of it. And that was a beautiful little front kick right there from Shimon as Yodlekpet tries to find his way inside through this long-range striking style of Shimon Yoshinari.
Yeah, Yodlekpet is trying to use this little footwork, but he's taking too long to get to the inside. And Shimon is really starting to pick at him, either with the jab, he caught him with the lead hook there, or it's that rear leg that's coming in. And right there, takes out the leg.
Beautiful. Systematic combinations coming from Yoshinari as he eats up that inside leg, but Yodlekpet just needs those. That's what he needs. He needs to get inside, stay covered up, and then start teeing off. Shimon with a beautiful high kick right there, but good defensive shell early on from Yodlekpet.
Yeah, but he's not throwing anything that's really threatening to Shimon at this point in time. You see how relaxed Shimon is. He's able to read. Yodlekpet has a tremendous amount of distance to cover. Nice, relaxed jab there. He's not using a whole lot of energy. And there's nothing that's making Shimon's nervous system react, where he feels that sense of danger. He's not giving Yodlekpet any kind of respect on his power. Now, make no mistake, Yodlekpet gets on the inside, and Shimon misses that punch and leaves himself open. You know, not that, because that hook swung and didn't come close to hitting, but if he does land one of these things, it only takes one to put him down.
Shimon is just on fire early on in this first round. 2.5 minutes in, and I have never seen Shimon operate on a level like this. Beautiful hand combinations as he finishes to the body. Step in knee inside to the clinch. Good knees. Yodlekpet trying to frame out inside the clinch as Chris Bachelor separates.
I like what Shimon did on the last combination there. He hit a 3-piece and then moved out. He's not getting greedy with his combinations, which doesn't allow Yodlekpet to actually return back. Like, he'll take his 3 punches and then not get greedy for that knockout, angle off. And so when Yodlekpet is at that moment where he's about to return with a punch, Shimon disappears on him. Yeah, right here you see Shimon was managing that range with his jab right there, keeping Yodlekpet at bay, and then he was able to hit that inside leg kick and take out his lead leg. Here he did the same thing. He caught that leg and then just trapped it, pushed it over, and got the dump on Yodlekpet. This is all about range.
That catch to pivot pivot to the other side, lets it go, and then goes to the body. And this Rich Franklin is Yodlekpet, a Lumpini Stadium champion, and a 3-time Roger Demern Stadium champion. This is a high-level Muay Thai athlete that Shimon is handling for the first 3 minutes. Let's see if round 2 is a changing of the tide, or can Shimon continue to display this beautiful art of 8 limbs? Yodlekpet gets on the gas, trying to close that distance. Beautiful step-in knee from Shimon. Ricochets off the arm as a piston-like right hand comes firing right down the middle.
Yeah, you see him right there. He basically steps in range, and then he's not really throwing anything. And he's looking for that one big punch to land right there. That overhand left that landed on Shimon. That's what he's looking for. But he came up short with the lead hook, came up short with the hook, and crossed that time as well. So his opportunities to be able to land that big shot off the combinations, given that Shimon is being very conservative with the way that he's throwing combinations, 2-piece, 3-piece, and angling off, is going to be quite difficult for Yodlekpet to land.
Yodlekpet needs to find a way around this long-range striking attack from Shimon, but you can see the body is starting to redden up on Shimon from some of these big punches being put together by Yodlekpet. There's a little bit more intensity coming from the Thai corner as they're trying to urge their athlete on to close that distance. And he is getting close, but he's running into just a barrage of shots.
Again, though, it only takes one, and him keeping Shimon's back on the ropes like that. Shimon did a good job of walking himself out now, but that's where he needs to keep this match. Cut that ring off so that he can maintain that kind of range.
But the activity coming from Shimon.
This is what I talked about in his keys to victory, man. Volume and footwork. Volume and long game, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's moving around, using that footwork like we've seen from all the Japanese fighters tonight, circling, keeping his range, jab there, jab there, jab there, and then he comes in with one big knee or one big cross at the power shot.
Because of the continuing just rapid fire attacks coming from Shimon, you're not seeing really any initial offense and the volume that we usually see from Yodlekpet. He's spending more time defensive rather than offensive, and this is a rare occasion. Beautiful jab as Shimon circles off. Just a beautiful display of back foot striking.
Yeah, there's a beautiful moment, that combination back there. Yodlekpet went to throw a punch. And Shimon's back was against the ropes. He leaned back on the ropes and then used the ropes to recoil back with his counter.
But Shimon is drifting the hands down. That right hand is carrying a little bit lower, close to his chest. He needs to keep that right hand glued to his chin, because the counter hooks of Yodlekpet are game changers. Good high-low attack coming from Shimon as he goes up high with the late high kick and then comes right down into the calf.
Yeah, he cannot forget. Hit that shot, hit those two, and now angle off just like that. That's how he keeps from getting countered on. Angle off after that kick if you're not coming back.
The Bushido spirit is on display here in Japan. What a beautiful 3 minutes from Shimon Yoshinari, Rich Franklin.
This is another performance from a Japanese fighter who's just utilizing that footwork. We see the karate background on the footwork here in Japan, and they are just out-pointing and out-fighting. Japan versus the world, these guys are coming in and just hitting outwork. And he's doing it not just with his footwork, angling off, not getting greedy with the combinations, 1-piece, 2-piece, 3-piece combination, angle off again, so that he's not getting caught.
Shimon has been able to pick up titles in Japan. He's a PTA Thailand champion. He won the Road to One. That's what got him his contract into one. But, man, he is in rare form here tonight. Can Yodlekpet change the course of this match? And one shot from Yodlekpet is all it takes. Third and final round. One championship, the world's largest stage of martial arts, representing the pinnacle of fighting, and that's exactly what we have on deck here tonight. And we're seeing some damage on the face of Shimon Yoshinari as Yodlekpet continues to stalk.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of damage on Shimon's face, but Nick was think about it. His punches, when you go back and watch this fight film, like his punches, they're all straight and coming down the pipe. Yodlekpet, a lot of his punches are wider, coming like that hook right there that landed. They're still wider punches, and Shimon is just throwing straight shots, just like that 1-2.
Beautiful 1-2 right down the middle. Shimon demonstrating efficiency in striking, wasting no energy. Beautiful head movement off of the hook. Putting beautiful combinations together.
Yeah, we're at a point in this fight now where Yodlekpet is going to need to go for broke, because I have Shimon up 2 rounds to nothing at this point in time, and Yodlekpet is going to need the knockout, and I think that's what he's looking for, trying to work his way in, and just hoping that Shimon drops that hand so he can land that big hook and put him down.
One thing that we saw in the first fight, or the second fight rather, was with Hugh, his ability to cut the corner off, right? So he pinned Zachariah up against the ropes. What we're not seeing from Yodlekpet here is his ability to cut that corner. See how Shimon just keeps circling to the weak side of Yodlekpet, and it just creates this open angle, right? Shots right down the middle. He can't do anything with that lead side. Yodlekpet needs to cut that corner off. He needs to step to his right and stop the movement of Shimon Yoshinari, because look at this masterclass busting up the face of Yodlekpet.
Yeah, as you pointed out before, Mitch, this is that classic southpaw versus conventional matchup, and Shimon is just winning that footwork battle. It's all about the lead foot, who can have their lead foot to the outside. And if we had an aerial camera, top view camera, and you were actually just watching the footwork, Shimon's foot is probably outside of Yodlekpet's 90% of this match, and it's outside of that lead foot every time he throws a combination.
That was a good little micro step to Yodlekpet's right, but he just cannot keep up with the footwork of Shimon Yoshinari. Yoshinari, can he make it 3-0 in the biggest event in one championship history? Japan versus the world. Shimon Yoshinari going in for big shots.
And you can see that was the hook that Yodlekpet threw. He's looking for that one big shot, but when you swing big, you miss big. And Shimon just completely disappeared behind and was able to land another 3-piece combination.
Good movement going up top with the head kick as he pumps out the jab to end the final round. What a performance for Shimon Yoshinari against the former Lumpini Stadium champion, Yodlekpet.
Here we see his 3rd round action. This is Shimon Yoshinari just picking at his shots. He's able to keep Yodlekpet at bay, and he can just kind of pick where he wants to put his shots and look for those openings. Obviously, when you're throwing some shots, that's Yodlekpet's best chance to be able to throw that counter hook, but most of the shots end up happening like that. This is that end of the round combination where Yodlekpet threw big, and that hook came up way short and gave Shimon the ability to disappear behind him and land another 3-piece. Good footwork, good strategy, good energy management, good power management, good decisions with not getting greedy, and that is more than likely, of all of those things, what won Shimon that match.
What a performance for Shimon Yoshinari against Yodlekpet. Let's go to Dom Lau for the official decision.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of battle, we turn now to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges have scored this contest in favor of your winner by unanimous decision, Shimon!
Shimon Yoshinari improves his record to 22.
Chuyển động cùng Võ Việt.